Last night, I went down a Fitbit Air rabbit hole at 11 p.m. and I did what any reasonable person would do. I placed a pickup order at Google headquarters and drove 40 minutes away to pick it up. All because I didn't want to wait 1 week for it to be delivered. If you don't know what the Fitbit Air is, it's been coined as a Whoop killer. It's been given this name because it's cheaper, smaller, and requires no monthly subscriptions. But the main reason why I want to get the Fitbit Air is because I am obsessed with this idea of smart products being more subtle. And I love the fact that things like Whoop and the Fitbit Air have no screens. There's this fashion trend currently called the quiet luxury, where high-end brands are minimal and don't have flashy logos. Now, I don't know if there's currently a term, but in this video, I'm going to call it quiet tech. And it's the idea that products can be smart, but not scream tech, with obscene LED screens or flashy lights. And it's one of the reasons why I created the lampshade for the Philips Hue light. And of course, people want to track data, but still wear their favorite watches. I've been using the Casio watch with an Ollie mod, and you can see how I did that in my previous short form video. There's also this other company called Ganance, and they have a small puck that fits behind any watch. And today I want to make something similar. One of my favorite watches is my Casio calculator watch. I've had several of these over the last decade, and when I saw how big the Fitbit Air Pebble was, I knew I had to try combining them. So my first approach is going to be similar to how Ganance does it, and create a small puck that will fit behind the watch. And I'm hoping that the Fitbit Air is slim enough where it won't be too noticeable. And all I need to do now is take a few measurements and make a quick prototype. I can already tell that it's too thick. Yeah, this is not gonna work. What if we move the puck to the bottom? Does this affect the way the sensor works? Okay, I don't hate it. You know what? If the puck can be on the bottom, maybe I'm making this more complicated than it should be. What if we just use the Fitbit strap and connect the Casio watch to it? So something like this. But the problem is, I don't think the Fitbit strap can fit between the pin and the watch. Let's try it out. All right, just for some contrast, let's put this down. Let's just take these pins out. Go in. Okay. I don't want to break this because this is the only ones I have. All right, let's do this instead. I'm gonna create this adapter that can attach to the Casio watch, as well as have a place where I can actually loop the band through. Okay, so this is what it looks like. Nothing crazy, pretty simple. And now all we need to do is put it together. Okay, let's see how this looks. Not bad. This is kind of crazy. While I was filming this, I decided to upload a short snippet of this video, and it kind of blew up. A lot of you commented and messaged me, asking if I could make one that would fit their watch. Instead of me making a bunch of one-off models, I decided to make my model fully parametric. This way, you can make it fit your watch, as well as if you have a different strap, such as the Fitbit Air or the Whoop. And if you want this model, you'll have to. Quick important update on the future of this channel. I've decided that moving forward, all my models will be for free. It just doesn't feel right that I've enjoyed so many prints from the community, but hide mine behind a paywall. For my previous models, they remain on Patreon to respect my current members, and my commercial license will still be available. And of course, if you still want to support me on Patreon, I'm still very grateful. You can also support me by subscribing to this channel, as well as my socials like Instagram and TikTok. More followers means I can get more sponsorships, and more sponsorships means more videos. So if you see me posting ads on my socials, just know that I'm selling those slots so I don't have to sell you my models. So like those posts. Help a brother out. My goal is to learn product design and eventually create my own physical products. With that said, thanks for the continuing support, and back to the video. And if you want this model, you'll have to go to Printables or to Makerwolrd. The one good thing about Makerwolrd is they have an online customizer, so you can adjust all the parameters online and then just download it right away. But I do ask that if you make a model for your watch, that you upload it as a remix or as a printing profile. That way others can enjoy it as well. I've gone ahead and I'll upload the CA53W, as well as the very highly requested F91W. I like this one because I'm actually matching the blue to the blue accent of the watch. Although this is just matte blue PLA, which I don't know if I would suggest using PLA for this model, because PLA over time becomes a little brittle. I would probably recommend PET sheet or TPU98A. But while I was putting this on, I thought of two things. The first thing is I hate that it's an adapter, which means I can't easily port it over to my other watches. And if I want to do that, I would have to print another adapter. It's just not as modular as I want it to be. The second thing is I was looking at this guy. What if I just created this piece? And that way I can just loop it onto any watch that I have. And that just feels way more simple and modular. So let's see what that looks like. One of my followers told me to go to Etsy to check out a model. Hold on. Look at what I just made. It's almost the same. There's also another person on Makerwolrd that came out with this. Look how genius that is, a print in place hinge. It even has two different directions. It has one horizontal and one like portrait. And shout out to Leon's. Here's the thing, even though those creators and I came to the same design conclusion, I can't get myself to continue down that path. It just doesn't feel right that the designs are so similar. So I decided to scratch the idea and try something different. So this was the original idea, and I decided to strip it down to its basics, which leaves us just with the housing. And from here, I knew I wanted some way to clip it onto a band. We'll just use this for example. But it's kind of tough. Let's just say that this cutting board is the build plate. To have this printed in its strongest orientation, you want this to be completely flat. That way the layer lines can go in the circle. And for this clip, you don't want it to be facing upwards because that means the layer lines are going horizontal and it's very prone to snapping, which means that we also want this to be printed sideways. So then I was thinking, what if we print it like this and have some kind of living hinge in between? Something like this. That way you can clip it on and everything will be in its strongest orientation. I mean, this works, but it's so long and it just makes it very uncomfortable to wear. So I gave up this idea. And then I was thinking, what if we have the casing, but on the sides, there's areas where a clip can actually snap into. But this would mean that the sides would actually protrude quite a bit. And this just makes the aesthetic overall look very bulky, but I still like the idea of a clip-on. My next idea was to try to create a clip system that gets locked into place after you put the Fitbit in. This print failed, but you can imagine that this piece would go into here. Oh wow, it actually fits. Gets hooked into place, and then once you put the Fitbit in, okay, it doesn't fit, but the idea was once you put it in, that the clip wouldn't come out. The problem with this design is that some parts of the case are just way too thin, but I still really love the idea about how the clip will get locked in once the Fitbit goes in, which leads me to what I hope is the final design. So I just took these off the printer, so we'll see how it fits, but here it is. Right now, I only have an open pack of transparent PETG, so we'll just use this right now. But the idea here is that this was actually printed in this orientation, and the case has these pegs on the sides, and the clip has a negative space where the pegs go into. But here's the cool part. I forget how thick these are. I want to say like 3 millimeters. There's still a little give. So the idea is you put it down, then you put on the clip, and because they're kind of thin, you can actually flex it in, and it clips in. Now you're thinking, wouldn't it come off? Once you put the Fitbit in, it'll expand and make it almost impossible to come off. And basically it becomes what you would imagine like a hinge or like a print in place hinge. That works awesome. Look at that. And the only direction that this Fitbit will come off is this way, but your hand is there the whole time, so it's pretty secure. And because the peg's on the side, it's much more secure. How do I put this on? I feel like it might have to be on this side. The strap goes over it actually. Oh man, the problem is it's not fully centered. It's like this should be offset. Thought I was done with this. I guess that's the good thing about this loop approach. I'm trying to think if offsetting it even to the end is enough, or if it even has to go even further, but I really don't like that design. If this doesn't work, I honestly have no clue. Let me know in the comments if you have a better idea, but I'm gonna try this tomorrow and see where that gets me. So it's the next day and we did it. I can't tell you how happy I am with this. And not only was I able to put it on my calculator watch, I put it on every other watch that I had. I already know that there's gonna be a flood of criticism, so I'll try to address them now. First is how it looks. Some people are gonna say it just looks way too bulky, and why don't I just wear the Fitbit on the other arm? Simply put, I just don't like how that looks, and that's a completely subjective point of view. You and me have different tastes, and that's okay. If we all like the same things, the world would be such a boring place. Second, how comfortable is it? Again, this is my opinion, but I'm very curious on how other people like it. For me, it did take some time to get used to. It's just a little bit of a strange sensation to have the Fitbit on the bottom of your wrist, because that area is kind of sensitive. But it's not like it hurts or anything. The Fitbit is very smooth, and I also designed this model to never come in contact with the skin, so your skin's not rubbing with the plastic. Some people are also curious about how it felt like to type with it, and it surprisingly wasn't that bad. It actually felt like my hand was on a wrist rest, and felt more comfortable than typing with a metallic watch. Lastly, and most important, how accurate is it? Now these tests were far from scientific, and I'll do more tests if people want to see it. I recently started playing pickleball, so I tried it with it on top of the wrist and then on the bottom of the wrist, to see if the heart rate sensor will lose any connection or if I would notice anything significant. Comparing the two, I didn't see anything strange, and it seemed to track my heart rate just fine. I then did a loop around the park with it on top of my wrist and on the bottom. The steps were slightly off but not significant. I also went to the golf range for about 20 minutes to see if flailing my arms around would make any effect on the heart rate sensor, but it seemed to track everything just fine from what I can tell. And of course, the sample size is very small, but it looks promising. And to be honest, if it was a little off, I would have been okay with it. I never planned to run a marathon with this setup. This was initially designed for those use cases where I want to go have dinner with some friends, and I didn't want to dual wield a Fitbit and a watch. After having this on for a few days, I can say that's comfortable enough for me to have this as my daily driver. I also made this model completely parametric, but I'm not quite sure how it will do with extremely wide straps, so I'm looking forward to some feedback on that. And if you don't have a 3D printer, I'll be selling this on my website, joshmakeshift.com. You'll be able to select your color as well as the material, and you also have to give me some information about the measurements. On top of that, this month I'll be doing a giveaway on my Instagram where I'll be sending these out for free. And I think that's it. I hope this was interesting, and if not, please let me know what you'd like to see. Thank you so much to my Patreon members, and thank you so much for watching. Until next time, keep making stuff.